In my last video, I came out pretty strongly against the teaching of non-duality, and I expressed many ideas and thoughts and rationality as to why it is a corrupt and evil teaching. But I didn't go into the details as to why people default to the concept of non-duality. And so that's what I'm going to do my best right now to explain to you what is happening to all these spiritual teachers and all these people that say that non-duality or that Advaita teaches that everything is one, and what exactly they are experiencing that would lead to that conclusion of non-duality. So, what it is Jesus kind of touched upon the subject when he said something of the nature that we are all gods. Now, as people, individuals that are aware enough to and intelligent enough to determine there's a difference between right and wrong, hot and cold, but more specifically to define from a macro level what is wrong or what is right or what is good or what is better than good, what is love and what is opposite of love, and all of these sorts of things. When you are able to do that and you're advancing up this scale from the animal kingdom or insect, and now you're at the level of human being, what you are doing is experiencing reality through a physical body. But you have the intelligence that goes along with it that the human is capable of. And I like to use the word capable because you can easily look around in the world and find people with an IQ of 50 and people with an IQ of 180. So clearly there is a vast difference in the mental acuity of human beings, and that has nothing to do necessarily with the spirit that is behind what is trying to communicate through the human body. But the essence that's emanating out of the human body coming from somewhere else is a God. But the term God is like the term general. When I say general, like in the military, there are lots of generals, and so there are lots of gods. So to say God is to refer to a commonality of a rank, if you will. And so, yes, in fact, if you can comprehend all these sorts of things, you are projecting yourself from the place of being a god through your human body. And if you have the ability, which very few actually do, to peak, if you will, experience, if you will, the nature of yourself that isn't here, you would experience yourself as a god while you are here. And if you are doing that, or if you are capable of doing that, why, you would, at the human level, assume that you know everything. You would assume that you are everything. You would assume that you are a god because you say you are a god. Because, in fact, you are a god. But the only way to prove that duality, non-duality, is incorrect The only way to prove that is if somehow a person became enlightened and then understood the true nature of themselves as a non-dual God, and also experiences this reality, this whole universe. Now, this whole universe is created as a dream from God. There is no division in the idea or the dream of God. Therefore, my body is the same as your body. My body is the same as the planet Earth. There is no separation between my body and your body. There's no separation between me, my body, and everything in the universe, because everything is the same. But now we're speaking of spiritual terms that go beyond this reality. So when we are talking about spiritual things that go beyond this, then you are seeing reality as yourself as a God. And so you see both yourself there, and you see both, and you see yourself here. And you assume the role of playing that you are a non-dual reality. The only way to disprove that is if you get to that point and you see the majesty of yourself as God, and you see that from an enlightened point of view, that you are in fact everything, and everything is you. And then the next step is through an extreme, humble, and loving heart that you possess, if this is you, and in that nature of this extreme humility, humbleness, and love, on a different plane of existence, you meet God. There is no explanation. You don't need an explanation to prove that non-duality is a lie, because you meet on the level of God that in fact there is Brahman and there is Atman. You meet on the level of God that there is God and there is you. And even at that level, Advaita teaches us that there's no separation. But Advaita only says not two. It does not say one. If it meant one, it would have said one. But it did not. So on that particular level, you realize that there is God and there is you. There's God, there's you, and there's everyone else also. But at that level of reality, this material world does not exist. The only thing that exists at that level is awareness. And I would suggest to you that a handful of people in the last 10,000 years have experienced what I'm talking about. And therefore, there are not many people that can speak at that level. Because this particular reality is meant to be a place where we cannot experience the duality of God. And the reason for that is so that we will be ourselves. Whatever it is that we are, we will be ourselves without any hesitation. Be that we are mean, greedy, loving, cognitive dissonance, whether we are lazy, regardless of what it is, we will be that. And one last thing I would say, Everyone speaks of the heart and soul wants bliss, wants happiness. And that's what we go for. And I'm telling you, that's the wrong nature of being. Because you are wanting something. You are wanting joy. You are wanting bliss. And that's a selfish desire. And with that desire, you will never experience on the level the separation between you and God, because you are selfish. And when you abandon those desires, and the only desire left is the desire for truth, is the desire for love, regardless of how it manifests, then you are not looking for bliss. You are not looking for joy. You are simply love. You are nothing but love within your heart and soul. And then when you find out that duality is real, which only a handful of people have ever done, then you will know that the practice and teaching of non-duality is wrong. I hope this means something to you. I know that it is very difficult to accept because it doesn't have any support. If you look anywhere, on YouTube, anywhere, if you look for information that disproves non-duality, you will find nothing. Isn't that a sign in these sort of, say, latter days that truth cannot be found, except in rare instances? Thank you for watching.